Good morning, everybody. Myself, Dattatreya Sankpal, working as a librarian at Wagire College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Saswad. I am thankful to the organizers of this conference, the principal of this college, Shri Premchand Pancham Khemraj Mahavidyalay, Savantwadi, and the coordinator of this conference, Shevale sir, for giving me an opportunity to interact with you. Today I am going to discuss about the online access resources, open publication, reliability of the open publications, shades of the open access and open access movement. I am also going to discuss about the growing research with this open databases. As rightly Mark Twain has said, a person who cannot read, who will not read, has no advantage over the one who cannot read. So, the same case with open access also. The open content is for use, it should be used for research. The new data, new theory should be built upon using these open resources who cannot afford them, afford the paid resources. So I would say a person who will not access the open content and will not research using this open content has no advantage over the one who don't have access, who don't have the devices, who don't have internet access. So the person, the people who have access to the open content should use and build upon it. The content of today's discussion is about why open resources, types of open access e-resources, open certification platforms, and collaboration and academic social networking sites also. So let me answer you why open resources. Before this, a question in my mind is why there is restriction to the information resources, why it is not made open, why it is not fully open. So the larger amount of information is made open, the larger the research will go on, because not everyone can afford the paid resources, but everyone deserves to be part of the research. So to facilitate the research, the information should have wider access, information should get increased readership, our research, our content should reach to the wider audience, and because it is facilitating the research, it will have an impact on society, science, culture, and ultimately the whole humankind, the whole world will be changed because of the research, as it has been changing from years. So availability and distribution of free author services will also be possible because of this open movement, open resources. So let me discuss about the types of open access. There are many more shades of openness of the information resources, and one of them is Creative Commons, and that is the biggest access giving licensing scheme. With the use of this Creative Commons license, you as an author agree to make your content in public domain, and which means it can be copied, it can be distributed, it can be edited, remixed, and built upon, all within the boundaries of copyright law. You are no more violating the copyright law if the author has made his or her content in public domain, signed or agreed to the Creative Commons licenses. the other shades of the open content are the copyright registered by the author and it expired. When copyright expires? After 60 years after the death of the author. And then copyright expires. After that, after expiring the copyright, one can copy the copyrighted content and share it without violating the copyright law. There are many more shades, as I have shown you. okfn.org, Open Knowledge Foundation.org has given you many more shades of the openness of various countries. There are large number of countries in the world, and where their financial information, their administrative information, some information is made open, some information is kept confidential. So there are shades of making information or content open or restricted. So likewise, you can view this site and get some idea about this. So let me discuss about how the open movement started. Just like Wikipedia has made knowledge for all, it is open to all, it is under Creative Commons only, it is in public domain only. So just like that, there is a story behind open access. It is about JSTOR. JSTOR was one of the database in these days, and in about 2008. So there was an American hacker, Aaron Swartz. He rebelled against JSTOR because JSTOR had made many of the research content password protected, behind the walls and locked, and charging money for this. And Aaron Swartz was not agree with this. He rebelled against it. He downloaded all the content of JSTOR and made the content open to public, which made him suffer. He was imprisoned, he was punished, and later he committed suicide. But after that, JSTOR thought that we should make some content open for the public. We should felicitate research because information is for use and it should be made open. So then after, they have just now 53 journals are open and 6220 ebooks have also been made open by JSTOR. And further many more databases started making the content open. So let's see these resources. Why one should make the content open? So Yuval Noah Harari in his book Homo Deus has said that information wants to be free. So how information wants to be free? For example, if you visit any tourist point and you cannot resist not to post photos of it on your Facebook account, you will instantly post it because information wants to be free. You cannot keep the information with you. You want to share it. It is a psychological human behavior that a human wants to share it. Human cannot keep any information with him. He wants to share it. So information wants to be free. Just like that, research also wants to be free. Research should made free. For example, Springer Nature has also started a movement that they have made many more journals open. They have a separate page to publish research data. If you will not make your content open, then who is going to cite you? How your paper will get citations? How the further research will go on if your research data is hidden, if your research data is locked, if your research data is payment based or it has charges. Someone with potential has right to research on someone earlier has done the research, because uh, just like Google Scholar, there is this tagline: we are standing on the shoulders of the giants. Whatever there is available content, we are using it and doing further research. Whatever the research passed on by our forefathers, by earlier researchers, has to be used to conduct further research. So that's why the information should be made free. Information already wants to be free, research wants to be free, and it should be made free so that further research will go on. And the open content has a major role in making the further research. It is observed that the research which is made open has got more citations than the research which is purchase based, which is behind the walls, which is so much costly. So therefore information has to be made open. Many times what we feel is whatever there is the information is free, is substandard, is of low quality, but this is not the case. Information can be identified as reliable one. For example, a little test you can check. Research Institute's domain name is res.in. You can see here Nisker has nisker.res.in, research. Res stands for research. Educational institutions has edu.in, ac.in, or government sites has gov.in. So these kinds of domains are reliable only. So based on these domains, you can rely on you can believe on the reliability of the research, reliability of the content. Likewise, Nisker has 23 journals open. So there is no need to subscribe the journals from Niskers in colleges, because Nisker has made it open only, and open research journals has more comfort to search than the print journals, because you can search the expected keyword for your research and get the exact articles by searching the database. So for research, uh, e-resources are more useful than print resources. I would say it is more searchable. Likewise, Indian Academy of Sciences has also made 13 journals open. So there are many more databases I have listed here, and you can go through it. Many more databases you would be knowing about already, but the bitter fact is that whatever it is made free, we don't value them. We should learn to value the free resources, because somebody is paying for it. If we are not paying, if we are getting free, it doesn't mean that it is substandard, it is of low quality, it is of no use. It is very useful, it is of very renowned quality. You should just use it, and we should value whatever the content made open, made free, and make most the use of it. The Krishi Kosh has 2 lakh, more than 2 lakh content on it for agricultural research. eCulp app is there. It is for researchers and farmers also. It is providing service to farmers. They are answering the queries of the farmers, how to increase their yields and environmental situations. To take it helps take decisions to the farmers also. National Digital Library of India, it has number of books and audio books also for libraries, for making the accessible content. Visually impaired users, uh, we can use the audio books also. TED Talks, it is very fantastic website where you can stir your curiosity. It has 3400 talks which makes your curiosity, answers your curiosity. Many more things developing in the software, in the artificial intelligence. We can arrange conferences and events on behalf of TED. They will guide us. We can participate in their conferences. Directory of Open Access Books, many of us will be knowing. It has collaborated with Open Edition, CNRS and Xmarcelen. You can see there the 4 logos are there, and it has indexed all the books from all these 4 databases and making 27,000 academic peer reviewed books available from 379 publishers. Open Edition is one of the database from DOAB. Internet Archive, it is the biggest open access resource I have seen. It has 25 million books, and you will get very rare books on this database. Open Edition, it has also books, journals, blogs and events. EPG Pathshala, there are much more course modules, and there are text, video, 700 books also. SPPU e-content, SPPU has recently made repository on for the affiliated colleges and university, the study material is uploaded on this SPPU repository. eShodh Sindhu, it has made some journals open. Actually, it is not accessible to the colleges, it is for university, but some of the journals are made available by eShodh Sindhu, InflipNet database. Vidwan is also an InflipNet database where you will get number of researchers, subject experts profiles, and it is appealing all of us to register our profile on this Vidwan profile, so that the country will know in which subject who is expert and who is the resource person for our activity. So if you are going to conduct a seminar, conference, you can contact to the scientists, researchers and subject experts from a particular area from Vidwan and get experts advice for your research and development activities. Southern Connecticut State University, it is publishing open content, and many of the databases are also appealing all of us to publish our content to widen the access. If you are author, if you have written a book, you can publish here. It is appealing to the publishers, and getting the permissions from publishers that your book will be made open, and on this agreement only publishers can join them, because they have a tagline that information or knowledge or content is by educators and for educators. So it should not be hidden, it should be made open. Oxford Open is also making the content open, Springer Open. So as I have earlier said that the .gov.in, .edu.in, .ac.in, likewise these domains are reliable. So just like that, Springer Open, Taylor and Francis, Wiley, these are the reputed publishers uh, throughout the world. So the reputed publishers can also be relied on, and the content published by them is absolutely peer reviewed, it is of renowned quality, and they are appealing all of us to publish with them, making the content open, and agree to make your content in public domain. But only thing is that if you want to publish with Springer Open, not just Springer Open, if you are going to make your paper open, then you will have to pay. The author himself have to pay to make his or her content open. He has to pay article publication charges, APC. So many more authors are donating their research to make their content open, to felicitate the research, and paying APC for widening the use of research. Taylor and Francis. See, Taylor and Francis also have given opportunity to publish with them, and with the help of the authors making their content open, they are doing agreement to make their content open on Taylor and Francis, getting their papers reviewed, and they need not pay APC. Taylor and Francis have given opportunity to make your content open without paying APC, and that is called as green open access. You can publish your content open and you need not pay APC. So there are shades of openness. For example, white publication, yellow publication, and green publication. There are three types of publication. White publication means when you publish your article, it becomes right of the publisher and not of the author. Author cannot circulate his article to anybody because it is white publication. He has to take permission of the publisher also. The author himself has to take permission of publisher when he wants to share it with somebody else. It is white publication. Yellow publication is that author can circulate his paper or share his make his paper open after 1 year. That is yellow publication. And green publication is that you can publish with publisher and instantly you can make your paper open, because publisher and you have agreed on green open access. Open access, what are the benefits of open access? That enables you to guarantee the quality and integrity of work through rigorous peer review. the Taylor and Francis is guaranteeing. It is the guarantee of Taylor and Francis, and Taylor and Francis has further given the benefits that it will influence on peers. You will get more citations, you will get more impact of work. It will be it will have wide access for the users. So likewise, open access has many more benefits so that your research will reach to the wider community. Directory of open access journals, they have also made 14,000 journals open access. Open access thesis and dissertations, 50 lakh thesis and dissertations are made open on open access thesis and dissertations. Legal information is also many more databases, about 1444 databases are there, and Commonwealth countries have participated in this database. Project Gutenberg has 60,000 free books. So open content is larger, and I cannot claim that everything that is made open in the world has covered in this presentation. You can explore many more databases from the internet. Just check the reliability of the content before using it. Just check the copyright conditions, the legal conditions before using the content. If it is copyrighted, if it is public domain, if it is uh, it it can be shared or not. So these kind of conditions should be checked, and then the content should be used. Highwire has many more resources, case studies, data sheets, white papers, news events, videos. Agris, very big database of agricultural technology. LibriVox for accessible content for the persons with disability, persons of visual impairment. For them, this content will be made available. This link is already in National Digital Library of India. Wiley open access. So I have covered the reputed open access databases. Springer, Taylor and Francis, Wiley is there. So they are giving open access. They are appealing all of us to publish with them. If you want to pay, if you can pay APC, then you can pay and make it for the use of the society. If you don't want to pay APC and make your content open, get it reviewed from the reputed journal, then you can go for green open access like Taylor and Francis. Wiley also has the same concept. Legal Information Institute of India, it has also large number of content. Shodhganga, all of us know, it is making the thesis open. Free books are there. It has print, audio, children collections also there. Marathi Sahitya, NetVet, English novels, Macmillan Dictionary, some miscellaneous open access resources I have listed here. So literature also made available. Training and certification courses are there, SWAYAM platforms, and likewise so many certification platforms are there. So I have listed, you can check them. Similarly, I would recommend you to join the academic social networking sites like Academia, ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and publish your content there. Join Wikipedia, and knowledge is for all. Knowledge should be open, and for that, and knowledge will grow collaboratively. If you will share knowledge, it will grow automatically. So for that, this is the collaborative concept should be widened. These are the sites. Academia.edu is there. ResearchGate. So on ResearchGate, a researcher or the one who has made a profile on ResearchGate, he will get RG score. Just like Google Scholar, it gives a score of an expert. Here you will get RG score based on the citations you have received, based on the views to the research publications you have received. On these academia.edu and ResearchGate, you can upload your published content, upload your published research articles, and make it open. ORCID, here also you can make your profile, you can publish your you can upload your published articles. You will get a unique code of Open Researcher Contributor Identification Initiative. So the platform is made available to make your content open and work collaboratively, start a project collaboratively with an expert from very remote, from any corner of the world. See, the Google Scholar is giving citation index and of your profile. Academic blogs and forums are also useful for the researchers. For example, researchers has many more questions about how to report research, how to write literature review, so how to conduct research, how to write a good article. So that's for that reason, these are the important sites: Thesis Whisperer, Research Whisperer, PhD Comics. So these sites will help you to improve your research. American Mathematical Society is also there for mathematics, the humanities. There are much more academic blogs in the world. I am not claiming that, and nobody can list them out, every of them, every one of them. But I am just putting an idea that you can search academic blogs also, and that will help you. You can ask questions. Blogs and forums has an opportunity that you can ask questions and you will get answers throughout the globe. So my recommendations are there: use the right resources, reliable resources, and open content is not substandard. You can publish open and make your content open. You will get more citations because your content is open, and widen the access of the content. To avoid paying APC, you can opt for green open access, and accordingly you have to I would say participate in this open information movement. So because in future information is going to be free. Information wants to be free. Please check the rights authority and accordingly use the resource. Join the community academic social networking sites like academia.edu and ResearchGate, ORCID. Join certification courses also. Nobody can stop you from learning. Thank you very much. You can mail me if any questions are there. My email ID is sankpaldattray@gmail.com. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share some views about open content, open publishing, and open movement. Thank you very much. Thank you, organizers, and thanks to the college principal, the coordinator, and the organizers. Thank you.